All right. So good night, everyone again. Happy to see you guys here for another week. And tonight we're gonna reflect on some of the moves from last week. We're also gonna go through market analysis um, and see, some interesting things that would have taken place on the market. Um, Before I even start, I will let you know that the market is setting up really, really nice. I see potential moves on gold, some of the majors. We could get potential move on GBP, JPY this week as well. And that's going close to structure or around structure. So it's just a matter of waiting for that break. And then we can look and see what else we have on the market that may tickle our fancy. All right, so I'm gonna start with the DXY. Right. Um, right. So the DXY broke 1 hour high, and everybody could see that this is 1 hour high here. This is the last high that the market would have created before we got this retest on this trend line. And I spoke about this trend line last week because I told you guys, okay, the DXY is in a very interesting position, right? I told you guys, okay, so when I go up to the 4-hour time frame, I told you guys I had a daily trend here that the market was respecting. We had price moving flat, right, for a couple of days. And I said to you guys, okay, I wouldn't necessarily take a trade here if price breaks this structure and continue, because we do have a daily trend line that is being respected, and there was a high possibility that price would break this zone, retest the trend line, and then continue up. Well, that's exactly what happened. The beautiful thing about what price has done is that it didn't just break 1 hour structure, it broke 4-hour structure, because if you look, this also created a 4-hour high, right? Last time price was in the green zone, right? Everybody could see at that structure. So I'm just gonna move this to over here. Right? I'm gonna move this to here. This was the last 4-hour low, last 4-hour high, right? So we can clearly see price retested the trend line, right? And give us a nice push to the upside, broke the 4-hour high, right? Which is good, is a really good sign. I am looking for price to push up from here, right? On the DXY, really looking for price to push up. So I'm gonna look for that imbalance candle. You can see one here, right? This is the imbalance zone here. So what I am looking for with the DXY is for price to retest, right? Structure, also fill this imbalance zone, and then continue to the upside. So what does that mean for the majors, right? What does that mean? That means we're looking for EURUSD, GBP USD, AUD USD, NZ USD to drop, right? We're looking for a push to the downside. We're looking for gold to push to the downside as well. We should see UCAD and UJ starting to push to the upside. So there are some opportunities in the market for this week, so you guys can look up for that. So this is really my analysis here on the DXY, price to come into this zone and then buy, right? Which means that, let's say, for example, on EU, I am looking for EU to buy first and then sell, right? So let's go over to EURUSD. Right. I don't know if some of you guys would have remembered that I entered this trade Friday afternoon, right? Because it retested my imbalance. So I entered this trade and my take profit is literally here, right? So just waiting for price to push up. So yeah, so let's look, let's see what's happening. So I'm gonna remove some of these so we don't become too confused, right? Do I need this descending channel? So probably not. At least not right now. All right, so we're gonna look at this. I'm gonna remove that. Right. So we had structure here, right? On EURUSD, price broke structure on Friday, right? So we had this push up, very aggressive, and then on Friday, price broke structure to the downside. Okay. So what I am looking at now with this is for price to give me a nice retest and continue to the downside. So imbalance zone, right? I really do love this area here in purple, right? What I would like to see price doing is to come back into my imbalance zone. So I'd like to see price come into this zone and then give me a nice sell, continuation to the downside, right? We could at least get that to these lows, right? The only way I will consider further the trade further dropping is because I would need this structure to break. If this structure does not break right here, then I will leave it alone, right? But at least you can get this move here. This move to the downside, you can definitely get. All right, so that's EURUSD. You guys can look out for that, right? 2 weeks ago, I told you guys look for EU to drop into these lows, and that's exactly what it did. You know, it wasn't the best setup to trade, right? Because EURUSD would have made you feel that it's going to continue to the upside because it broke this high. It broke the previous high, right? This is 1 hour and this is actually a 4-hour high, and it actually broke above. So a lot of persons probably was looking for that continuation, price coming back into here, retesting, and then continuing to the upside. But on Friday, we had an aggressive push to the downside and price breaking the structure, right? So yes, we are looking for this retest to come to here, but let price flag. Okay, the difference between we getting into this setup and this that happened is that price actually didn't flag, right? We didn't have a flag here. So although some persons were looking for that retest, we didn't get a flag. Price pushed up and then it brought down. So this, all of this is price breaking down and then gave us the aggressive move to the downside. So it didn't flag, right? What you're waiting for now is for price to flag into this imbalance zone and then continue to the downside. So this is a nice 75 pip move or so that you can get on EURUSD. Looks really nice as well, nice and clean. So you guys can look up for that. Let's move on to GBP USD. We had a similar situation here with GU. Let me just remove that for now. Early in the week, told you guys to look for GU to basically retest this imbalance zone. This is the imbalance candle here. So this is the imbalance candle here. And it said look for price to retest this imbalance zone and then continue to the downside. That's exactly what happened, right? Don't mind that we got a push up. This was news on interest rates that gave us that push up on EU and all the other majors as well. right? So we have price now give us a, again, same type of move. And we can definitely look for that retest, right? First thing we're going to do is identify the imbalance candle, which is here. Everybody could see the imbalance candle here, right? So similar to EU, also looking for price to retest into this zone, right? So you're looking for this retest, price to come into this zone, and then continue to the downside, right? You could get to here, somewhere around here, yeah. Right, so that is a move on GU. Really interesting move as well. That price flag give us a nice retest into this imbalance zone. This is your imbalance candle here. Wait for price to come up into this zone, and then you can look for yourself, right? This retest should also reflect on the MACD. So what you should see is the signal line crossing back over into the green zone, giving you that retest, right? And then you guys can take that sell. So GU looks nice as well. This week the majors look spot on. That's the truth. The majors look really, really good. All right, let's look at AUD/USD. I was interested in AUD/USD last week, but I had told you guys to come out at break even because I felt like it was gonna push up some more, and that it did. I think we managed to get a few pips, but I will leave it right now. Why? Because I just clear the chart a bit. It's not as attractive as EU and GU, right? We've got some structure points to break. This being one. So the only way I'll be interested in AU is if I get price giving me that break of structure, retest, and then we can catch and move down, right? But right now, nothing on AU. As I say, it's not as attractive as the others. It is a good setup in the long run, so long as we get that break of structure here. If we don't get it, then I will leave it out. All right. So so we need structure to break, whereas the others broke, this didn't. All right, let's look at NZUSD. Similar situation. Let me clean this up. I was looking to get into this last week too, but again, with the push up that I saw coming, left it out as well. Right. So structure. All right. No, NZUSD, similar situation to AUD/USD. In order for me to look at this as a setup, as a potential setup, I need structure to break. I need a retest, and then I could look to get it. So once we get that breakout, a nice imbalance candle on the break as well, then we could look at the retest and look to get him for the sell. Until then, I will leave this alone. All right. I'm gonna leave out the chef and come to USD CAD. So USD CAD last week, I had two really lovely trade setups on this. Sunday night, we took this buy to the upside. Right. took a while. I think it only hit TP around Wednesday. So it took some time, but we got there in the end. Then for the same interest news that happened on Thursday, price dropped aggressively. But the beauty about knowing imbalance zones, learning it, perfecting it as much as you can, is that once you master seeing the imbalance zone, identifying what the imbalance candle looks like, right? Then you can start to get into setups, especially when you see something like this. So what happened last week? Last week, I took this buy setup. We had this push to the downside, and then I legit got into this trade setup here. I think I sent this to you guys as well. Now you know that I was taking this setup, and I came out of this trade around here. Right? I came out here. Right there. Right, so that was the setup that I had on USD CAD. It was lovely, both of them. Right, it was lovely. I had a phenomenal week, to be honest. So I just wanted to show that. So the key is really to understand imbalance zones, what the imbalance candle looks like. Right, that's key, because then you could get a nice retest into the zone and then price taking off. That's exactly what happened here. Once you see price broke this low, and it's coming down here, start to look left. Spend some time on the charts, right? Don't just think, oh shoot, I miss a move, right? You know, price drop aggressively, miss the entire move, you know, and walk away from the chart, but actually analyze and see what's happening. And that's what I did last week, right? I didn't feel like I missed a move. But when I saw price came down to this zone, pushing, and then as soon as it came around this area, I looked left and I saw an imbalance candle right here. And once I saw this and I saw price starting to stall, I knew we're going to start to get that retest. All right? I knew price was going to push up. It was going to give me rejection, not retest. Rejection. So that's why I went in for this buy. All right? What should we do with USD CAD now? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're going to mark it up so you guys know, okay, this is the low, right? Got this in my high. And I am not doing anything with USD CAD until either my high or low is broken. So I'm going to wait for either the high to break or the low to break. That's ready to move there. That's what I'm waiting on. Until then, I'm not doing anything. Why? This price is consolidating, right? We got price moving flat. right? So this is where we're at with USD CAD. So nothing on that for now. One second, guys. All right, so USD JPY. So UJ, we didn't end up taking UJ last week. The setups that we took was UCAD, EURUSD. We're gonna go through that. But UJ, the reason why I didn't take UJ is because I had identified this imbalance candle here, right? And what I was looking for was for price to come back into this zone, retest, and then give me a sell continuation to the downside, right? But when I saw price come into this zone and continue to push, and I didn't see much rejection, I knew that it was going to invalidate this candle. Right? So right now with USD JPY, to be honest, I'm going to leave it alone. Right? What I will do is bought same price. Right? This is the low. This is the high. So I will bought same price and I will see what happens throughout the week. But right now, I am not going to give you any analysis on UJ. Right? This is the 1 hour high. This is the 4 hour high. This is the 1 hour high here. Right? So I'll wait to see what happens. Until then, I'm not going to look at USD JPY. Gold. All right, now gold. I caught this sell on gold last week, Thursday. So when the interest rates, what I noticed, and I'm going to actually go back to EU and GU and show you guys why I took this sell setup. Now, I got into gold 2 different positions. The first position I got in was here. And then it came out because I felt gold pushing up somewhere. I felt like it was going to push up, right? And the reason why is because I felt like I was going to get a triple top out here. And you might ask yourself, but coach, how do you know that you were going to get a triple top, right? And I knew because spending time on the chart, you see, chart time is very, very important. Very important, right? Now, if you guys look at this pattern, I am going to remove this. I'm going to leave that, right? If you look at this pattern here, what has happened? So you had this aggressive push to the downside, price came back up, back down to structure, price came back up, back down to structure, right? You look at this, it looks confusing to you. But really and truly, if you look at EURUSD, right here, the same 3 touches to the in this range, same exact thing, right? Obviously the candles a bit different than gold, but you had the same type of pattern forming. If you look, you would notice, right? GBP USD, same thing. Look, the same triple top. And this happened earlier in the week, you know. This happened like Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah, around Tuesday or so. This happened on EU, then it turned and it happened on GU. They didn't all happen at once. One pair played out, let's say Tuesday, the next played out Wednesday, and then, you know, gold happened on Thursday. And that's the beauty about chart time. Because if you spend some time on the chart, I'm not telling you that you have to sit down and study it for 8 hours in a day. But what I am telling you is, you know, give the chart at least 1 hour. Just look and see what's happening. Get your eyes familiar with, you know, how the market is moving. And over time, you will start to print certain images in your mind. You can even print it on, you know, you could screenshot this and actually print it out. Right? I'm busy. Right. Yes, so you guys can actually print this out. You can capture it and actually print it out to just remind yourself about certain things that happening on the market. And that's the beauty about the charts. One, the market repeats itself. Two, patterns repeat themselves too as well. And they may not all play out the same time. So let's say you missed this on EURUSD. Then if you looked, you would have noticed, but hey, GU setting up the same type of setup. It has the same type of pattern. So I missed it on EU, but I can catch it on GU. Or you would have noticed I missed these two setups on EU and GU. But then when you look at gold, you start to think, wait, gold look as if it's setting up the same way as well. And that is how I saw it, right? That's exactly how I saw it, right? So we had a nice triple top. The first position, like I told you, I took here, and I probably caught like 40 pips, 30 pips or so. I came out because with the interest rates at the point in time on Thursday, I knew the market would have pushed up. And I know how gold is sometimes, right? So I waited and I said, you know what? I feel the market is going to push up to here. And that's exactly what it did. When it came up to here, I got in for the sell. Right? And then this happened. This was Thursday. You can see the market breaking down into Friday. Right? So this was lovely. Anyhow, if you missed this move, that is okay. The market is setting up again. All right? That's why I tell persons, don't ever feel like, oh my gosh, I missed a move. I feel bad about it because the market is going to set up again. So what do we have here on gold? Because I'm ready to say here about this particular setup. You know, I don't often talk about gold because, yeah, but I am looking forward to this one, to be honest. Right? So this is structure. Right? Price was respecting this structure for quite some time. Right? What we have now is price breaking structure. We have a nice clean imbalance candle. Right? And now I am waiting for that retest. You can see price flagging coming into my imbalance zone. And once I get gold coming into this zone, I'm going to take another sell. So the sell setup for gold is coming, right? Ideally, what I would love, to be honest, is for this to come back around and give me a retest. However, there is a possibility that it may not give me that retest on the 1 hour time frame. But I definitely would get it on the 15 and 30 minutes. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it for sure. But definitely this is the area here to get him for the sell, right? So you guys can see how gold is doing during London tomorrow morning. Alternatively, definitely during New York, right? So during New York, we can see, because that's definitely the time we will get the push to the downside. But check it during London, because sometimes gold tends to break down during London. You can get a nice, position on it, and then enjoy the journey during New York. So I really love this. This is my favorite. So you guys can look for this move as well. Don't often look at silver, but I want to see. So yeah, no, okay, wait. All right, so let's look at your GPY and let's see what else we have going on. All right, outside majors. Okay. So right now on EJ, I will leave EJ alone, right? I will leave EJ. What I will like is price to break. If I don't get this into that imbalance zone, then I will leave it. If price comes into this zone and continues to push, I'm going to leave it alone. I'll wait for a break of the high or the low. All right. Definitely looking at this move more so than this, by just letting you guys know. Right. So this is the imbalance candle here. But you can see the imbalance candle. So like I say, if price comes into this zone here and it's still pushing up, I'll leave it alone. But once it comes over here and I get a retest and is aligning with my MACD and I get some rejection and so on, I will definitely look to take myself. If not, I will wait for structure to break, retest, and then look to get him for my sell setup. All right. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that for sure. So what's happening on your odd? So we have structure breaking to the downside. Here. I feel this is gonna go up, Yep. All right, so for your odd, everybody can see. For those who know about divergence, your odd is creating some divergence. So eventually this is gonna push to the upside. You're gonna get a strong push to the upside eventually, right? So I'm gonna start planning for that. And by planning for that, what I mean is that first I've identified my structure. This is my last 1 hour structure here. Everybody can see, right? This is the last 1 hour low, right? And this was the last 1 hour high. So what I'm saying to you is that I'm looking for your odds to start to really give me a nice push to the upside. In order for me to get into that, you guys know, the plan. Wait for break of structure. Must break the 1 hour high, right? So once I get break of structure, then I will look at a retest and get him for my buy and take it from there. Until then, we will just watch, right? But definitely looking for this to push to the upside, because the 4-hour time frame, if you look, we have divergence here. Look, see the divergence, right? Right, it might be going up, and what is price doing? Price is coming down. So soon you will get the aggressive push to the upside, retest, and then we can look at buying your odd. All right, so you're a CAD. So we took this trade last week as well. I think we got in on Sunday. So this was the imbalance candle here. This was the imbalance zone. We waited for price to come into the imbalance zone, and then we took our buy. Now, what happened here, all right, is that price came into the imbalance zone, and we started to get a push to the downside still, right? So it did invalidate at some point in time the imbalance zone for me, right? Because it broke below. However, because of discipline, I literally do not exit my trade unless it hits stop loss or take profit, right? The only way I would come out of a trade before is if there's news that I am aware of, and I know that, okay, price is gonna push aggressively to the upside or to the downside, and I think it's best to come out, let the market do its thing, settle down, and then look at a position again, right? So in a case like this, I allow the trade to run, right? Because for me, the discipline is my trade is either going to hit my stop loss or it's going to hit my take profit. If you want your account to grow, you can't be watching every single candle dropping down to the 1-minute time frame, getting nervous when you're starting to see a little red or a little drawdown, because it's going to happen. It's the market. If it was easy, you know, everybody would be billionaires. That's truth. All right. So it's all about discipline. And if you really want to grow your account trading, you got to be okay with seeing drawdown. You have to be okay with the market pulling back. You have to be okay with it. Right? So on your CAD, not interested in it right now. After all of this noise, I'll leave it alone. But we did catch a nice move on it last week. All right, so the other euros, probably gonna leave them. I'm gonna wait for breaker structure. Price consolidating right now, still. So I have this to follow your odd. Same way I'm looking for your odd to give me an aggressive push to the upside. I'm looking for Euro NZD to give me that same push as well. Right? Why? We also have divergence. So if you check the 4-hour time frame, you will notice we have divergence here on the MACD. right? And price just consolidating. So definitely looking for a price to break to the upside eventually. I'll keep my eyes on it this week. Once I get that breakout retest, then I will look to enter, so long as it sets up. That GBP JPY. Okay, guys. So GJ, my analysis remains the same on GJ, right? This is structure. We have price respecting structure for quite some time, right? Didn't break structure at no point in time last week. So I am still waiting, right? I'm waiting for the break, retest, and then I'm going to enter GJ. Until then, I'm going to leave it alone, right? If price does break to the upside instead, this is the 1 hour high here that I'll be looking at. Right, but I am more in favor of this. All right, we're nearly there, nearly there. I'm gonna leave GA. I'm gonna leave GN. It's too choppy. All right, one last setup that we're gonna look at, or check. So I took this out last week, right? It's taking a while, and that's because of the peers, right? Odd chef moves quite slow, to be honest. I've closed it now, but this is a move. All right. It's just that it took the entire week. And we basically float between break even, right, and 30 pips the entire week. And that's why I just eventually closed it. Because it was just moving too slow. So if you're still in odd chef, you could look to close it, to be honest. It's like I said, is moving really slow, just for a 30 pip move. Right? So that's basically it for weekly outlook. Like I said, my favorites, definitely Euro USD. Look for that pullback. Look to get in for that sell continuation. GBP USD also a favorite as well. Definitely waiting for price to pull back, retest this imbalance and drop. At the top of my favorites, gold, right? So eyes on gold. Definitely check gold during London, because as you can see, it entered my imbalance zone. So I'm gonna let price tell me what it's gonna do. In a case like this, like I told you guys, probably gonna get the retest on the 15 and 30-minute time frame. I highly doubt we're gonna get it on the 1 hour time frame. So eyes on this, a nice flag farming, and you should be able to get a nice entry early London though, early London, right? So just wait 20-30-minute time frame. I prefer this time frame for the entry. Wait for this. Once you get this, price coming over into that green histogram again, you could definitely look at taking your sell. But definitely go top of my favorites, right? So the other setups like EJ, EA, EN, and GJ, I am going to keep my eyes on those throughout the week, but they're not really favorites as such, because the market now has to set up, right? So for the beginning of the week, I'm gonna keep my eyes on EU, GU, and gold, right? Gold, I believe I will get that move for tomorrow. So I definitely looking to take a sell on gold very soon, right? The others, they need to set up. So just keep them on your watch list. All right. So that is it for the weekly outlook.